Hi everyone, I'm here, sorry, and recording is on. And I can see your screen, Sébastien.
Okay, thank you. So I assume today we'll have different demos. Nick, you show something. Abhishek, will you show, or will it be someone else?
Are you talking about Orchard Beginner?
About Orchard what?
Beginner.
Beginner? No. Nougat package?
Oh, I will show that.
You will show that?
Yeah.
Zoltan.
Why would be that, Abhishek?
He tweeted about it, no?
No, that was Lombik.
Or maybe you retweeted.
Abhishek retweeted.
Maybe.
But Orchard Beginner is also worth mentioning, by the way. And Sébastien, you told me to remind you about the contributors to the localization.
Yep. And where did I see that? Spam.
Did you? I replied to one of those spam things, and they replied to me saying, "What can they do to make it better?" And with a link, and I clicked on the link and it just 404'd. No, it gave me a 500 server exception.
It's a stupid thing. They are just comparing search results, and they are using Orchard CMS in one word to do search results. It's even wrong. So first, it's stupid. Second, it's wrong. So let's ignore that. So yes, it was Lombik. I don't know, maybe he retweeted and I thought it was him. So Zoltan, Sipke, I will start with the status. So we left last week on this one, and then Sipke, based on the feedback, made all the types listable, well, when they are creatable, listable by default. So good thing. I did a patch to improve parts performance because it was really slow with lots of parts. So the code was optimized. Then I optimized the rendering of unordered lists using string builder. Then I think someone fixed it. Stanley fixed it, I think. After that, fixing limit token. Yep. Coding lab. Is it you, Jerry? Thierry Fleury. Yes, Coding Lab is Thierry Fleury. Thierry Fleury, or Thierry Fleury in French. Auto-route editor. So yeah, fixing limit token, the issue was that some values were not valid, something like this. In the parsing, pull request. Auto-route editor improvements from Stanley. The hint was wrong, I think, something like this, based on some conditions. Again, pull request. And this one is the AuditTrail fixes. This one is, I should ignore those ones that are from a specific branch, but Daniel is not here. Oh, I will talk about it.
Didn't he merge that branch into the main branch?
Yes, and we'll see that. So Daniel, oh, this is new, with some feedback from Daniel. So now there is a new property on the MediaLibraryPickerField called FirstMediaUrl. So instead of doing from a MediaLibraryPickerField .mediaparts index 0.mediaUrl, now you can just do FirstMediaUrl, which will be either null if there is no value, or the URL of the first media available. Because most of the cases you link with the one media and you want to check if it's there and use the media by default.
That's awesome, thank you.
Long discussions about how to name it and things like that, but that works. So allowing none as action in projects. Yes, this is a change from J. Harris using a pull request. So now there are lots of extensions will be allowed to have a known action in the project without failing the compilation. SASS, less, Coffee, TypeScript, MarkDown, and I think I have added Word files too, because we have a Word file in the solution. Yes, I did that. I have added the Word files. Then I changed the project, the Azure Media Services project, not to use this task by default, but do nothing. So it will be user triggered action to compile the files, the TypeScript files, like we do for CSS and so on. OJs Files. This is the branch from Daniel, which he merged here. I've added that. This is new feature. Where did I add that? I'm not sure. OneNotex. So the idea is that now in the Lucene module there is a new iLucene analyzer selector and provider. So the analyzer selector lets you define which Lucene analyzer you want to use for a specific index. The default implementation returns just a standard analyzer like it was doing before, but now you can, if you want, per index define which analyzer you want, which will let you tokenize and stem your words in different languages, and also define some stop words that you would like to use. So it's a new extensibility point, no breaking change, just new interfaces if you want to implement. Fixing HTML extension. Yes, this is a fix from Stanley. This we don't care. Then Daniel merged the date localization into OneNotex. So now all his work on calendar is on OneNotex, and also I think maybe Nick updated all the fields, the scripts for the picker. I think so, somewhere, maybe later. Yeah, and what was funny is that there was a nice bug. I don't know, I found it. It was funny. So if you were to save a date before March 10, then it will increase by 1 hour all the time. And it was actually because of daylight saving time issues in this calendar. So he found it and fixed it quickly. Implementing importing. So this is AuditTrail. Field which was not used, that's fine, nothing. This is a pull request, which lets you now select a media from the picker just by double clicking. This is AuditTrail. This is the fix for the ST. This you don't care. I try to optimize the parts thing, but nothing interesting. This is when Nick upgraded the libraries, calendar and time picker. Then Nick working on right to left support in TinyMC, and he will show us what is done so far. This is still RTL upgrading the MC. This is a pull request making commands case insensitive for the module names. This is removing some unused code, and this was from the pull request. This is some fix I've added to OWIN. So the bug that Nick was mentioning about OWIN, when you upgrade using an OWIN is in the solution. So this bug doesn't appear anymore, it's fixed. This was required. So this is fixed because the module, the OWIN needed to be loaded by a web config. So OWIN works. All the test works, I think. I've tested them.
The specs don't work.
But yeah, the SpecFlow tests don't work anymore. Not a single one, because the infrastructure is broken with OWIN. The SpecFlow tests are using an in-process web server, the HTTP runtime fake ASP.NET web server, and this one doesn't work with OWIN. So it fails as soon as it starts and it loads OWIN. So there are two solutions. First is to remove OWIN. And the second solution is to change how the SpecFlow tests are done. And the only valid way to do that is to actually not use the HTTP runtime web server, but to use IS Express. So it will mean launch IS Express and do the same thing as we do today, but the issue is that everything in this module is accessing the web server via remoting, because it's in process, and we can do that, and sending comments to the web server. But now using IS Express, it's creating real HTTP requests and sending them to the IS Express. I spent 1 or 2 hours on that, and too much code to change, and it didn't work. So I think the changes have to be deeper than that. So I'll keep it for later. So right now I won't manage OWIN because it breaks all the SpecFlow tests. And if someone wants to work on that, I will help. So this is work from Nick on the layouts. This is, Sipke on the layout, Nick on TinyMC, localization. Lombic updated log4net to a new version, bug fixes. Okay. Okay. Added the tenant name to Azure log messages too, because apparently it was missing. And apparently they are using it because they saw that it was missing. Then directionality plugin, I assume, for TinyMC, and then Sipke on layout, and Nick on directionality. Lots of work. Sipke, lots of work. Boom, 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 boom. What are they doing? Crazy thing. This one is a pull request from Stanley fixing some plugins in TinyMC for the pickers. And then more changes for RTL and LTR support. And let's continue with Nick's demonstration about RTL support.
Hey, okay, cool. So, how do I show my screen? Desktop. Okay, Benedek, tell me when you can see my screen.
It's not loading yet. But it's possible that I will have to move to the web app because, yeah, okay, just give me a few seconds. I will have to launch the web application.
Jeff. Okay, I'm resharing.
Okay, I'm back.
You can see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, hold on. It's just connecting. Someone took my controls. Okay, cool. Can you see my screen now, Benedek?
It's loading.
Okay.
Still loading. Ah, okay. I have it now. Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead. Thanks.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I will just, so I'm going to start again. So this is just a basic Orchard site as you normally have it. And I'm just going to add a right to left culture in and just see what happens. So if I turn on a right to left culture, for example, at the moment you will see, oh, okay, cool. So what we've done is we've added right to left into the admin screens for both your current culture and any other subsequent cultures. So I'm just going to turn this off quickly because it had an unexpected effect. And make it so that we can choose which culture we can see. So I'm just going to turn on, so we now have a new feature, which is a culture picker. If I enable that. So the culture picker will be added to the admin screens automatically if you have more than one language. And because it's a shape, you will be able to add it to your theme. Well, the theme will be able to add it to their theme. So if I now show you, if I now go back to my settings, I now have EN, US, and ARIQ. So I can now, at the top right-hand side, choose which culture. It's a bit of a bit funny at first, but yep, they like it on the right-hand side. So we've got it on the right-hand side. And what happens under the hood is it just uses a culture selector to flip the cultures with a storage provider. But the cool thing is that when you're editing content, you can now edit in right to left as well. So if I change my default site culture to ARIQ, which is this one. However, because my site culture is ARIQ, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be viewing the site in ARIQ. This is Arabic in Iraq. I'm currently viewing this site in English, United States, but my current culture is ARIQ. So, what does that mean? Well, when you create a new page, by default, you're always creating it with the culture that you are. There's a bug. Darn it. Okay, well, that's cool. You're always creating it with the your initial creation is always creating it with a culture of the site. So if I click in here, for example, you can see that this is on the right, and TinyMC is on the right as well. Even though I'm viewing the everything in left to right, which is English, my text still is localized to RTL. A good example as well is down on the date picker, this is in English. However, if I go and change my language, or my culture, I should say, to Arabic, ignore the title, I haven't localized that field yet. You can still see that this is over here, this is still RTL. So I'm still localized based on my culture. There's a small bug here, which isn't a problem. Also note that because I've changed to Arabic, TinyMCE has also now changed. So can you see the hoverovers where you've got the Arabic text? So what we've done is as long as the Arabic as long as it's translated. So what we've done is we've included the Arabic text in. Very nice as well. There'll also be a directionality function in here as well to turn your language left to right depending. But it's quite nice. I haven't localized every field yet, but it works quite well. I've also tried to do every page, so you can see a good example is users, how users is displayed. So it's a complete mirror opposite where you've got add new user on the left with all the checkboxes on the right. But if I switch back to United States English, you'll see it changes all the way back. There's a slight bug there. I think in Firefox, I was doing this in Firefox earlier, so let's just have a look and see what it looks like in there. odd in here. Okay, cool. But yeah, I mean that's what I've got to so far, and it seems to work pretty well. It also stores, so if I type in some stuff here in Arabic and I save it, ignore the title as I said earlier, and I hit save. I come back, you can still see that this stuff is localized to right to left. And if I change this to English United States, this stuff still stays RTL because this content item is RTL, which is good. Yeah, that's my demo.
I will rephrase what you said. That now on the admin, you have two information. You have the dashboard culture, okay, and you have the content culture. So you can have two different ones. You want the administration to be in English, but when you will edit a content, it will be editable in the language you want, RTL or LTR. So for instance, let's say you are writing some content in Hebrew, but you want the administration in English, you will be able to do that. Your administration will be left to right, like we used to do in English, but when you edit the content, you will write in right to left. So they're completely different. But at the same time, if you want everything in Hebrew or in Arabic, you can have everything from right to left. And the switch is automatic because what he has done is that on the HTML tag, there is a new CSS class. Well, first there is a new attribute, which is dir, D-I-R, which will define the direction for the full document. And there is also a class which will let you customize the CSS based on that. And this information is at two levels. It's first at the document level and also at the content level, because they might be different. And this way you can customize how each field, each shape, anything you want will be rendered based on the CSS class. It's showing it to you, yeah.
That's the content one, and this is the, so that's the content class based on LTR. If we switch it, you'll see that, so remember this is based on content, and this one is based on the site. So you can see that my current site culture is RTL, but my document, which I created a minute ago, is LTR. So you can see that here. One caveat, if I create a RTL content item, the permalink should always stay LTR. So and you always want this on the left.
And to answer George's question is that when you enable the localization module, you can create different versions of a content item in different languages. So there is a new link to create, but this has been there for since the beginning. You didn't show that. You didn't show that, Nick. That,
what did I show?
Well, just the standard way of doing multi-language management, like you enable the localization module, and when you have a page, you can say add translation, select the language, and the content item will switch in different languages.
That's fair point. Okay, so I've got my site in LTR at the moment.
We don't have time. We have more demos to do.
All right.
Thank you. But that's beautiful. I like it how it switches on the right to left, left to right automatically. For users, it's very important.
More important than we thought as well.
Okay, next one, Zoltan. Let's do some Nougat. But I know what I would like, so I hope this is what I, well. You didn't ask, so. It's written, feel free to start presenting and to talk to. Yeah, I have Piotr on my internal list. Zoltan, do you intend to present something?
I think he's rejoining now.
He's not around.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I was speaking, but apparently sound wasn't working. And I was also saying that Piotr said he wants to bounce early, so he could go first if you'd like to.
Okay, go. I don't care.
Piotr?
Piotr can go if he wants, if he has to go early.
Piotr? Okay, so apparently he either doesn't want to go first or he already
No, he's joining too.
He's rejoining, yeah. This is hilarious, actually. In the meantime, you can pull the orchard source and you will see a new branch.
Ooh. That I will delete. Pull the branch from Lambic? No way.
All the cool guys had feature branches.
So you need one, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Piotr is apparently offline as well. Okay, and then I will start to share my screen. Let me know when you can see it.
It's beautiful.
Still loading for me.
Okay. Tell me when it's loaded.
Two small fonts, but maybe we don't care. Or at least four. But I have a small screen, okay, don't worry.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Sébastien can see it. Benedek?
Just now. Yeah, go ahead.
Just now. All right. So the idea is to have something together with Orchard and Nougat, whatever that would mean. And this is a first and experimental step, so probably not the ideal solution and not a complete one, of course. But this is something that demonstrates how you could use Orchard as Nougat packages. Although by no means is the ultimate goal here to have Orchard just as Nougat packages for non-core developers, but just as a supplemental feature for whoever wants to use that. Because this is how it works. Oops, not that. So this is a console application here, and as you can see, I've loaded actually from a local folder, so it's not on nougat.org. I loaded 3 new packages, one for Orchard libraries, framework, and the Orchard application host, because in this current solution with just these 2 packages, it pretty much only makes sense to use all this with the application host, because otherwise it's not ready to be used in any other application. So while this installs, I will show you what there is. Well, first of all, in that feature branch I've created in the Orchard repository, feature/Nougat, you will see everything I show you here. In the root of the Orchard repository, you see click to build Nougat packages, what will actually run this PowerShell script. And the output of this script will be 2 Nougat packages built in the build/Nougat folder. And one is for the libraries, and one is for the libraries, and one is for Orchard.framework. Orchard.libraries, this package contains all the libs. So this is not an ideal solution, and it's not ideal also because there are several libraries here that are actually available as Nougat packages on nougat.org. But this seemed like the easiest solution for now, and also the safest one, because at least with Hibernate, we have the case that we don't actually have an official release, but rather a custom build. So yeah, having all the libraries in a Nougat package is kind of hackish, but this works for now. And in Orchard.framework, we have Orchard.framework. So no surprises here. And now the installation is ready. Yeah, so everything should be packed out here. What happened is that, well, of course, we have these 3 packages installed. The app config was modified too. There's a transform for the app for app configs, and the same transform for web configs as well, because for Orchard to run, well, at least in its basic form, you need these assembly redirects, and you also need to add the dependencies folder as the assembly probing folder. So these are basically copied from the web config of Orchard, and it's automatically added when you install the framework package. There are also some references added. These are the references that Orchard.framework needs for startup. So everything else after startup can be loaded from the dependencies folder, and everything will be actually copied to the dependencies folder as normally. But before that can happen, we need some dependencies, some assemblies, and these are added as references here. This is also not an ideal solution, but there are 2 non-ideal ways to do this. Well, one is to add all these references, and this is also quite hackish because, for example, this is a console application and you have a system.web.mvc reference. The other way would be to create a post-build step that copies all these assemblies to the bin folder. I've also implemented it. You can find it in a previous commit, but I think this is still a bit better. Not much better, but still a bit better. And now that we have the packages installed, I'm just copy and pasting something here. We can actually run the Orchard application host, and in this Orchard application host, a very simple Orchard code. So we can use the logger and the clock service, and it will actually run. So everything needed for this is loaded, and we can of course use everything from Orchard.framework.
So this is nice for your framework. What about targeting real developers, Orchard developers?
Yeah, this would be the first step for them as well. So you need the libraries and you need the framework. So the next step would be to have modules too. Sorry?
Why do you split the 2 projects? Why? What I will see as a user, let's say I'm an Orchard user, Orchard developer. I'm in Visual Studio, I say install, download Orchard, and a solution is available with all the projects and all the source code, so I can do Control F5, and the Nougat package contains all the source code. Everything. So I don't have to download the zip file or to go on the Codeplex stuff or download the Git repository. I just say from Visual Studio, is it possible at least? I don't know.
Not in this way as far as I know. So what I have done here would be actually really the first steps of such a scenario. Well, probably not 2 packages, but somehow separating libraries from everything else seemed natural.
Yeah, change the script to do that, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but you can't more easily install everything, because you will still need to add references, you will still need to have the config transforms. Well, this is the case if you want to add Orchard to an existing application. So for example, you start with an ASP.NET Web application and you want to make it Orchard. Now, I think this is the way to go there. So there is no simpler way as far as I know.
Okay, and the other scenario I see is Orchard in a Nougat package as a module, so that when you have a web app running on Orchard, you can just say go to the gallery and download a new version of Orchard in place update, because what we do is modules when we download them from the gallery, we just uncompress them locally. So this could be a solution to upgrade Orchard by just downloading the module Orchard, the new version. Does it make sense? So it's just what we do when we do a precompiled build, for instance. You package it as a NuGet package. It's put on the gallery, and so from an existing Orchard app running, I can download the new version, and it will upgrade in place.
Yeah, again, there is a bootstrapping issue. So you need to have an application to add NuGet packages to it.
Well, the scenario is I have a running Orchard application, a running Orchard website. It's running. It's there, even either on my dev or production, but it's there. I have a running machine. I go in the dashboard, I click on gallery, I see Orchard version 1.9, and I say download.
Yeah, I would have to think about that, how this is possible with NuGet. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's just a zip file containing all the files, and you call it .NuGet package. And there is no config transform, there is nothing like that. Just, well, there could be config transforms for like upgrades, but
I'm not sure.
I can try that.
Doing source upgrades wasn't the point here. So just binaries.
So can we prevent Fermin from sharing everything? Yes, we can. Done. I think so. I think, yep, Fermin can't share anymore. So. Okay, thank you. So next week, I want that. I'm in Orchard with sharing again.
Sorry, no, I clicked on it by mistake. It was under presentable content.
So next week, I like to see that the scenario where I'm in Orchard and I say gallery and I download the latest version of Orchard as a module. And it's like upgrading in place the Orchard instance.
I don't think this is possible with the current Orchard packaging system because you can't overwrite the application from the application inside.
And yes, you can. But yes, you can.
No, it's logged.
I've talked to the guy named ASP.NET, and he says yes.
Maybe in VNext.
And I agree with you. I'm like, no, it's not. But he said yes. He said this is what they do internally when they do something. I don't know. Well, apparently it works. We just need to try, and maybe it will work. For instance, let's see. Think about it. Let's say you have a web app running, and you just drag and drop Orchard.framework.dll. It will work. There is no log on that. It will just restart the app. Okay? Exactly the same. It's just overriding every file. That should work.
Yeah, but I've experienced that you can't remove any file that is loaded in the application.
About removing files. You don't care. They will be there. Fine. No rollback plan is a dev scenario. You don't do that in production. But lots of users would like that. Not you, George. You don't want that. But lots of users.
Question. How about having an MSI installer version of a package, a Orchard package that could solve the upgrading rollback? We've actually done that. It's quite complicated, but
I don't want an MSI to upgrade my website. It's either copy-paste my website to my files to an existing website, or a click to upgrade in place. If it's so, I don't see why I don't know. I will not do that. The current solution works. You download the new version and you place all your files and your modules in the new version, and then you do your upgrade steps. Improvement, in my opinion, will be like in WordPress. You say there is a new version, I click, and the new version is there. Done. This is an improvement, not having to run an MSI. Maybe it's fine for you, it suits your needs, but I don't think so. Not mine, actually. Piotr, while you are talking, show us.
Okay, so now my demos.
We don't care about the code, how you implemented it. We just want to see the demo.
I'm not going to demo the MSI
What?
stuff.
No.
No.
The MSI, I don't care. Your keyboard stuff.
Keyboard stuff. Okay, so just let me share the screen. Yeah, already in the background. Which monitor? This one. Okay. Okay, so just tell me when you'll be able to see the screen.
It's the first time I can see all the dashboard widgets on a single line.
Okay, so can everybody see my screen?
I can't see it yet. It's loading.
Okay, so just tell me.
Okay. It's loaded. Thank you.
Okay, so first let me show you how it works, and then I will show you how it's done. So what I did.
About how it's done. We don't have time. That's what I said. Okay. I don't see the code. Just want to see how it works. Thank you.
Okay, so by default I hooked up into Control F, Control S, the save, find, and publish events. So wherever you are in the admin, when you press Control F, it will show up the content picker, and you can search.
You see, Sipke?
And when you select an item, it will automatically take you to the edit screen. So it overrides, as you can see, it overrides the default Control F behavior. So it doesn't show up the Chrome search text box. So this is one thing. Second thing is Control S. If you hit Control S, it will save the item. So it's particularly useful when you have huge screen with lots of parts and you need to scroll down to the save button every time. So Control S just saves, and Control Shift S toggles publish. Control Shift S. Yeah.
Just screen. I think you used a shortcut which tells link to stop the presentation.
Oh, really?
No, I don't see your screen anymore. I don't know.
Oh God. So the idea is there are some default. I'm trying to reshare the screen again. Share the screen again. Screen presentation didn't start because of an error. Just let me reconnect.
That's fine. We won't have time because we want Sipke to show something else. But yeah, I really like the idea. And Sipke actually asked him to make his filter on the top left optional using a control key. Same thing, and he did that. Control M. Yes, I think it's interesting to be able. Ilan won't disagree with that, to be able to search for some content directly from anywhere. So you just type some stuff and it will show you the content that you're looking for.
I'm not sure that we should override the default control key.
I agree.
It's just the beginning. So I just typed in. It can be any shortcut, but the whole idea of this feature is that I'm resharing the screen. So just tell me if you can see it again.
I think it's a good idea. What I think is that any control.
There is a keyboard settings.
Should be.
There is something like keyboard settings. So there will be a place where users can override the shortcuts.
Yeah, that's an advanced scenario. That's very.
But it's already there, so that's the whole feature.
The Control S stuff, very interesting. maybe new content should be, I don't know, Control N, something. But I agree with the keyboards. The search also is very interesting, even more than now we have the admin search and draft lookup, so we should integrate that also by default. I don't really like the UI with the pop-up and then you click. I don't know. It's weird, but
yeah, I just reuse the content picker.
But I agree with the Control S, very nice. The publish also maybe will be interesting, and we should think about what, I don't know. Maybe Nick said that, or like maybe a Control O then something, just to be orchard specific.
Okay.
Yeah, because you see, you are typing a shortcut and then it closes the link.
But Control O requires two hands, so maybe Control S, Control, I don't know, D and something. So it's easier to type in with one hand.
I always use two hands to type Control something, even Control C. I don't know. Maybe we should dismiss people with only one hand. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, but that's the topic we need to discuss. So what shortcuts will there be? So this is totally separate thing. But this whole feature is just for there is the provider infrastructure. So from your module, you can provide an event and provide a default combination of keys that fires that. And
so what should providers do is just inform what they handle and not define commands or whatever. And there should be like I don't know, shift ? To show a pop-up with all available keyboard shortcuts, and that's it, like in GitHub.
Oh, that's a good idea.
5 minutes for Sipke. Thank you.
Okay.
You can blame Zoltan.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to do 1 minute, another demo, 1 minute one.
Okay.
This is something. This is a demo of a thing that I just want to do a sneak preview of, because my friend Marek went for holidays and he told me not to do this demo alone. So as you can see, you can see error occur during presentation.
Yeah, I took over.
Oh, you took over.
Sorry.
I was.
Now there is an error. Screen presentation didn't start because of an error. Ouch.
So
I don't like this.
Sipke and you show it after him, okay?
Okay.
Can you see my screen, guys?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
what is up with you? You all want to do demos today? You know, we meet every week. It's like 10 demos today. Go on.
I don't know. I'll think about that. Meanwhile, I'll show the layouts module. It's been updated since the last time, so I would like some more feedback. So let's start. We can create a new layout. Layouts can be. Wait.
Explain what it is.
Oh, okay. So layouts enables you to lay out elements within the content zone. So content items are rendered. They render their parts and fields inside of the content local zone. Using this layouts module, you are able to lay this out visually. So you'll be able to use a bootstrap-like, grid-like system. And this enables you to lay out, for example, the title part, body part, comment part, or any part that's there in the system. For example, you can create 3-column layouts or 6-column layouts or any sort of layout that you think is useful. There's also a layout widget. So, for example, you can use that to place a layout widget on any zone in your theme, and use that to lay out a address, for example, in Google Maps using 2 columns. So I think it's useful. I want to use it for a new feature I'm building, which we'll talk about some other time. So that's it in a nutshell. Any questions about that? No? Okay. So this layouts feature also supports templating. So in this case, we're just going to create a layout, and then we're going to apply this layout to the home page, so we can see how that works. So, for example, we'll call this a layout content master layout. we'll add some rows. These are rows. And each row consists of columns. By default, a single column. We can split that using this bold icon. Since last time, I improved the resizing of the columns so that now the number of spans per row is always 12. So it's easier this way. So this could, for example, represent the aside first column, content column, aside second. This could be the triples, triple first, second, and third.
What's the lightning bolt?
So that splits the column.
I like the lightning bolt.
Yeah, thanks. Me too.
Sipke, is this reusing anything the engine built with One Stop and Bertrand here, or is this completely new?
The code base is new, but it's inspired on that module. So.
Can anybody demo new layouts next week?
This is the new layouts.
No, but a new layout next week.
Oh, new layout. Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, what do George and Bertrand think about it?
Good artists take great artists to steal.
Well, you know, that the One Stop Layouts module did show me, you know, the possibilities and what you can do with it. It's but the way it's presented to users could be optimized. So this is, yeah, you could regard this as an overhaul. I don't know. I have to compare it with that module to see if its feature, if it has the same features. I think it has. Anyway, we can discuss that later. So now we have a layout with a nice grid.
And I will add, it's a master layout, reusable layout.
Yes, exactly. This is a reusable layout. You can configure this if you go to the content type settings. So there's a layout content type, and it's a layout because of this layout part, and it has a checkbox here, use as a template. So you would also attach this layout part to any content type that you want to be able to lay out. For example, I attach this layout part to the page content type, but that one isn't usable as template. I also want to show the hierarchical nature of templates. So in this case, we can use the master layout to create a master layout with content. So we can choose the master layout template here. And now we can create a template with contents, such as, so we can pick and choose some elements. This is a media element. For example, we can add a nice logo. We can specify display type for media elements. In this case, we want a thumbnail display type so that it looks nice. We can add some footer using the text element, for which I prepared some copy. Can add some parts. For example, we can create a template where we always display the title part at a certain position. For example, here, but you don't see the title yet because we haven't saved this content item. If we save this, we now see the title for this layout, but this part will show the title of the actual content item. So when we use this layout on the homepage, we'll see the title of the homepage. We'll see that in a second. We also have
anything dynamic you can put in there?
Dynamic?
Yeah.
It can be inline edited. The question.
Inline edited? Yeah, that's a feature. So that will enable you to double click on text elements, for example, and you can edit that inline. But that's not in this release. So here we've prepared a master layout with content. If we now go to the home page, we have our title, a body part, and here we have the layout part. And you see I added a field, an input field, to see how that we can also lay out input fields using this layout. So right now we start out with an empty canvas. We could start from scratch if we wanted to. We can use a template. We can use the master layout, or we can use a layout with content. So this is the starting point. We can now start adding, for example, the body part. So we want the body part here. We want some text here. Call this site first. And we'll add one there. Site second. We can add a field. Who's making that noise?
Maybe me, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So you see this email field here, we added it as an element here. So we are using the layout engine to place it here. We can add it multiple times if we wanted to. It's easy. So easy for spammers. We can save this. Oh, and also what's nice is if you change the layout, it will retain your content. So the elements you added are still there. So the layout engine will retain the position as best as it can.
How does placement affect this module?
So placement isn't used because you use this visual tool, this visual designer, to lay out the elements, and that will be where the shapes will be placed. However, placement.info, that file is used to determine whether to render certain shapes or not. For example, the body part driver yields, I think, 2 shapes, but because one of these shapes only displays for the summary display type, it's not shown because I'm using the details display type for these things. So that's why you will see the body part shape here. Okay. Oh, also every element has settings, and these settings are common to all elements. So you can specify an ID, which will be rendered as the ID attribute on the element. You can specify CSS class. You can specify an inline style, which I'll show next. So what I want to show as well is that if you make a change to the master layout, it will cascade down through the hierarchy of templates and to all of its client layouts, if you will. So the home page, it's a client layout. It's a client of the master layout with content, which in turn is a client of master layout. So if we make a change here, for example, change the background using CSS. If we save this, our content will have changed as well. So if we view the home page, we'll see that the background is yellow. So there's that. Okay, so we have a layout widget which we can use. So if you go to widgets, and for example, we want to add a contact widget, but using a layout, we use a layout widget. We create a 2-column layout. I prepared some content for this. So we have for example, we would have an address here using a text element. Nice Google Maps iframe, also using the text element.
So I can paste some HTML in Orchard?
Yes, you can.
This is awesome.
I know, right? So now we have a layout widgets in the footer zone.
And widgets are draftable? Wow.
And they are draftable. Someone did that recently. It's very cool. So you see now we have layout widgets. What's also cool, that was an idea from Sébastien, it's the ability to turn elements into widgets. So, for example, we can add the migrations as part of this module, create 2 widgets, a text widget, a content widget, and a media widget. So that's 3 widgets. For example, if we use the content widget, which leverages the content item element, which has a picker, we can choose any sort of page. For example, I created a news page here. I want to run that using the summary display type. So now, news. Now we have the news page is rendered as using the summary display type as a widget. So this is nice. And of course, because it's an element, you can use it as part of a layout as well. So we go to the home page and we want to add news to this column. We will go to content, choose the content item, and pick any sort of content. We can add multiple content items.
I really do like that view that you have when it pops up. I think that's quite nice.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's Sebastian's work, the content picker. Also, getting back to the draftable widgets, I just want to mention that there was you might have noticed if you're on the 1x branch, if you add a widget, it's saved as a draft instead of being published initially, but that's fixed. Anything else?
Can we drag and drop elements across zones?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You can drag and drop all of these elements. You can move the rows around. So this is a templated layout, so I can't modify this layout, but we
just
can add.
We are developers, we know Bootstrap and grid layouts, so he's just using a simplified grid system, not any framework you can imagine, very simple grid system, and it's abstracted so that the shape will render whatever grid system you want. You can render Bootstrap, you can render Foundation, whatever you want.
Yeah, it's completely compatible. Yeah, it's very easy.
Sipke.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Sebastian.
I'm actually using Sebastian's custom grid CSS file. I added a few classes to be fully compatible with Bootstrap. So it's very, very easy. All you will have to do is override a single shape or maybe 2 shapes. Just use Bootstrap classes.
You see the yellow in the middle?
Yeah.
I did it too.
You made the yellow?
Yeah, this was a suggestion by Sebastian as well, to be able to specify.
Yeah.
To do what?
To use yellow.
To do what?
To specify inline styles, specify CSS class.
The color, yellow.
Oh, that's your idea. That's your work.
He's a Coldplay fan. Can you schedule to publish specific areas of that grid?
Can you repeat that question, Elon?
Can you specify specific areas within the grid to publish separately from others?
No. If this
you have to publish the entire page, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. But you can have the whole page as a draft and then publish the entire page.
Absolutely.
And then that would override the existing and have the same effect.
Exactly. You can do that.
I have an idea actually for that. There would be a trick. If you add a content item element, if the content item is not published, you could just display nothing.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
If the element is a content item element.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course.
You could publish later the content item itself, and it will appear until
But Sipke's is cleaner. Sipke's is more clean, and you can preview the whole page as well. I didn't see that as a.
Yeah, because if you make changes to the, for example, the mask layout with content, you make a change. For example, move Oh, you can change this one, master layout itself. You can move this here, and now you can just save this as a draft, and using this view function, you can preview it.
But not on the same not in the same place.
No,
It's fine.
not
It
within.
just kicks you.
No.
Yeah, it kicks you back out. That's just.
What I think is also interesting how he did that is all the elements are very extensible by you just creating some files on the file system if you want on the theme, which means when you have a customer, you can create custom elements for his usage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, you can say a slide or I don't know, a product information. And you see this page where you can add elements. It's completely customizable for each customer. So they will have a toolbox of elements they can reuse across the website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also wanted to show these snippets. I showed it last time. Not sure why it's not showing right now. Layout theme. Let me check. Oh, check this out. See, look at this area here. You see the dashboard? I press Control M, and there's a filter. And I can go to modules, press Enter. Look for layout snippets. That's a feature that you can enable separately. And what this feature does, it will check for your current selected theme, which is the layout theme in my case, and it will look for all view files that end in snippet. And it will provide those snippets as elements. So if we now go to the home page and we want to add a element here, we can choose the snippets. So this is harvested from the theme. And there you go. And this is a simple shape, just rendering an image tag, image element. This, I think, is very cool. Any questions about this?
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I need it. Archer, yeah. Wow. We have something.
Okay. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Sipke has already lots of other ideas based on his module to reuse that. For instance, in the widget page, or placing the content types instead of content items. Yeah. So next, but he already has too many things to do. Good. That was a good session. Lots of demos, but maybe Piotr wanted to say something more? Or do you want to keep it for next week? So we have something to show next week. I think he said he would wait for next week then. Any question about anything we didn't tackle today?
Localization contributors, you mentioned.
Thank you. I think we should, on the localization page, we have an Orchard project. We should list the names of the people who contributed to localization, because it's as important as contributing to Orchard itself. Someone, for instance, yesterday asked me who contributed the Hebrew localization. I was like, I don't know. I have no names. We have everyone for the code, every is, but we don't have anyone from the localization. So I think it will be interesting to mention them. I don't know if we have names today, or if we need to contact them, or if there is a way for them when they on their profile on Crowdin, if we can find it. So
some of the users use their real names, but only a small fraction of them.
This is what I do for context, because we use a jetski123. I don't know. I just send a contact email and I ask, who are you? Oh, I am the classmate. Thank you.
I can send a broadcast
I'm
message.
seeing on the forum, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay, actually we have 79 registered users for the project. Not all of them are contributors.
We should write them. Okay. Anything else?
Just as an interesting fact, actually there is one user who was banned from being a contributor to the localizations because he was using the Bing Auto Translate feature of Crowdin, and another user translating to the same language told me that most of the translations are incorrect. And that user wasn't responding to any messages, so I had to ban him. Unfortunately, we lost a soldier.
Okay.
That's it.
Great. Thanks, everyone. It's been a long one. See you next week.
On Thursday. This week. Bye.
Yeah, see ya. Thursday.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See you on Thursday.
See ya.